Good morning, Reclaim Church. My name is Tim Datria, and I just want to wish you a good morning. My cat woke me up this morning. I wasn't planning on doing this early, but sunrise might be coming up behind me as we do this. I hope you enjoy it. I hope the lighting works out well too. Anyways, I've been asked to share on Proverbs 22 as we do this 31-day challenge. The first two verses of Proverbs 32 say this: "A good name is more desirable than riches. To be esteemed is better than silver or gold. Rich and poor have this in common: the Lord is maker of them all." You know, I've always desired to have a good name, to be thought of highly by other people. I want to be considered a good husband, a good father, a good Christian. I think these are some of the things that it talks about when it talks about having a good name. You know, in the Old Testament, names were really important. And there's one name that was mentioned in the Old Testament, and that's Emmanuel. Emmanuel means God with us. And that was the name given to the Messiah, the coming Messiah, the King of Kings, and that was one of Jesus's names. And we learn a little bit about Jesus growing up in Luke 2:52. Luke 2:52 says this: "And Jesus grew in wisdom and stature and favor with God and men." I think this verse sums up the aspects of Jesus' life and his growth and maturity. It talks about he grew in wisdom, just as we are concentrating in this 31-day challenge. It talks about him growing physically, in stature, and he grew in favor with God and men. I think this means that he had a good name with God and men, just like our Proverbs 22 verse says. And so this verse made me think about this, growing in favor with God and men. You know, I got thinking, if I'm only concerned with having a good name with men, then I'm actually pretty much in trouble. And that's kind of an issue with me, to be honestly, that I'm too concerned about what others think of me, and sometimes I let that affect my behavior. And you know, it got me thinking about a story, an interview I saw once about this gentleman that was in charge of a team. He was creating one of these handwritten Bibles. They were drawn in calligraphy. One of these big Bibles that you see is absolutely beautiful. We know where on the top of each page, the first letter is this beautiful ornate letter, all artistic and everything. And the host asked him, he said, "What is your greatest fear?" The gentleman says, "My greatest fear is this, that others would find out." Let me say that again. His greatest fear is this, that others would find out that he is not as good as they think he is. You know, and I realized that's my greatest fear, that people would find out that I'm not as good as I think I am. And sometimes I just let what other people believe about me affect my behavior. And I don't want to be like that. Instead, I want to make sure that I'm concerned about what God thinks about me. So therefore, with that knowledge, I must work hard at remembering that what is more important to me is not just having favor with men, but also having favor with God. I think that is why it's important that we read Proverbs 22:1. "A good name is more desirable than great riches." That we immediately followed up with Proverbs 22:2, which says this: "Rich and poor have this in common: the Lord is maker of them all." So when you chase after having a good name with men, first of all, make sure you chase after having a good name with God, the maker of us all. God bless you and have a great day. I just hope that you're having a great one. Have a great one.